Salutare tuturor! Pe 10 august 1793 a fost deschis oficial la Paris Muzeul Louvre, unul dintre cele mai mari muzee ale lumii din zilele noastre. Funcția de muzeu al Louvre-ului începe odată cu expoziția celor mai frumoase tablouri ale colecției regale, ținută la Palatul Luxemburg între anii 1750-1785 și care a cunoscut un enorm succes. Marchizul de Marigny, director general al clădirilor regale și succesorul acestuia, contele de Angivillers, elaborează un proiect prin care Louvre-ul să devină un muzeu permanent. Acest proiect devine lege la data de 6 mai 1791, iar la 10 august 1793 are loc inaugurarea oficială a noului muzeu. Acesta a fost inițial un loc de pregătire a artiștilor vremii, publicul larg având acces numai în zilele de duminică până în anul 1855. Ei bine, în timpul primului imperiu, muzeul se va numi Muzeul Napoleon, având ca prim director pe Dominic Vivant Denon. Muzeul este extins de către arhitecții Charles Percier și Pierre-François Leonard Fontaine, aceștia construind aripa de pe strada Rivoli. Aceștia vor construi în 1808 și un mic arc de triumf, numit Arcul de Triumf Carusel, care va fi decorat de către Dominic Vivant Denon cu basoreliefuri și cu statuiete ce slăvesc gloria armatelor victorioase. Sub domnia lui Napoleon al III-lea, Louvre-ul a suferit mai multe modificări, în principal în cadrul proiectului Le Grand des Ans. Galeria de nord ce leagă Louvre-ul de Palatul Tuileries a fost completată prin adăugarea de noi clădiri realizate de Hector Martin Lefebvre, după planurile lui Luis Visconti. Alte clădiri au fost adăugate la sud pentru a oferi simetrie complexului arhitectural care a devenit din ce în ce mai impunător. În 1871, muzeul a fost incendiat în timpul Comunei din Paris, iar arhitectul Lefebvre a fost nevoit să reconstruiască o parte din clădiri.
Embellished over the years. Epitomized here are 8 centuries of architectural history. The entire building has now been converted into a museum for everyone's benefit. Within these walls, among the masterpieces that await us, some of the works have existed for 5,000 years. Coming around the floor pavilion, we approach the Louvre through a symbolic gateway, the triumphal arch of the carousel, built during the reign of Napoleon I. Facades on either side and behind it were constructed when Napoleon III decided to extend the old Louvre to house the museum and his imperial officers. The statues of famous men look down from the terraces lining the courtyard. High on a pedestal stands Bernini's fiery equestrian statue of Louis XIV. Rather than the original marble in 1989, the architect Guillaume Pay placed a dark grey lead cast here that matched the palace roofs. It was Pay who designed the Louvre Museum's main underground entrance, covering it with a glass pyramid that adds light and volume to a vast reception area. The architect wanted the pyramid to be transparent and to reflect the sky. From the inside, reached by a remarkable spiral staircase, the walls of the palace to which it leads can be seen. Denon for the part bordering the River Seine. Sully was Henry IV's Minister of Finance. Cardinal Richelieu was Louis XIII's minister. Denon was the director of the Central Museum of Arts under Napoleon I. The Louvre's 7 departments extend over the different levels of these 3 wings. Ancient Near Eastern antiquities, Egyptian antiquities, Greek, Etruscan and Roman antiquities, sculpture, decorative arts, paintings, graphic arts. The Richelieu Wing. The Department of Ancient Near Eastern Antiquities houses the finds of the French excavations undertaken from the mid-19th century onwards in Mesopotamia, Iran and the Levant. It was in southern Mesopotamia, the land of Sumer, that writing made its first appearance in 3300 BC. The earliest texts were bookkeeping documents. Pictograms, then cuneiform characters, were used to count animals or keep a record of the crops. One of sculpture's earliest functions was to commemorate victories on the battlefield. The stele of the vultures was erected in about 2450 BC by Ananetum, king of Lagash, to celebrate his triumph over the neighboring town of Umma. The sovereign, clad in a sheepskin skirt, is seen here marching at the head of his troops. His enemies have been caught in a huge net. A high-ranking official, possibly the equivalent to the Minister of Finance, was governor of the powerful city of Mari in about 2400 BC. Like in Anatum, Il is dressed in a skirt made of tufts of wool called a konakis. His eyes are inlaid with shell and lapis lazuli. The Louvre owns a series of black diorite figures of Gudea, Prince of the State of Lagash. They all date to about 2150 BC. They were intended to perpetuate the prayers the prince offered to the city's protective deities. One of the most outstanding shows the prince holding a vase against his chest with water, the symbol of life, gushing forth full of fish. In the 18th century BC, Hammurabi was king of Babylon. He imposed his rule over the whole of Mesopotamia. The stele that bears his name is over 2 meters high and shows him standing before the sun god Shamash. A long inscription engraved on basalt in cuneiform characters lists nearly 300 laws concerning the family, marriage, divorce, adoption, inheritance, and theft. It is one of the most ancient compendiums of common law in the history of mankind. 1,000 years were to pass between Hammurabi's reign and that of Sargon II, king of Assyria, who built his capital near Nineveh on the site of the present-day Iraqian village of Khorsabad in northern Mesopotamia. The palace entrances were guarded by winged bulls with human heads and sacred tiaras. Giants capable of strangling lions personified strength and courage, benevolence to palace guests, and a threat to enemies. The reliefs decorating the courtyards and the rooms of the palace were over 2 kilometers long and depicted processions of dignitaries or vanquished peoples, and the transportation of cedar from Lebanon to be used in the construction of the palace. Side of the square courtyard, the Department of Near Eastern Antiquities presents its Iranian collections.